First, let me introduce the president. President-elect, President, it's a chance to tell us which one is correct. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm Daniel Kiptanui, President Emeritus, Rift Valley Institute of Science and Technology, and I'm the current chair, President of Tvet Student Association, the Republic of Kenya.
All right.
And hopefully I'll be one of the honorables soon, 2027,
okay.
Yes.
Oh, 2027, you have some prospects?
Yes.
All right, we'll get into the details of that exactly, though we, amass your voter base as early as now. A lot is happening in the dailies. Maybe we can begin there, and then slowly, as we talk of politics, we can also switch into the politics of the Tvet Students Association. When you look at the headlines this morning and, maybe a general reaction of what Kenyans are feeling with the finance bill, with the stories that have been prioritized here, like the CBK, new and latest adjustment, does it paint a grim picture to you? What is your general sense of feeling as a Kenyan first and also as someone objectively who's into the world of politics?
Actually, the topic in Taifa Leo, hii imeenda. Actually, hii imeenda ni kitu, it won't come back again.
Right.
It has been signed by the president as the law.
Okay.
And if it has been signed and perpetuated as the law, it is the law.
Hii imeenda.
Hii imeenda kabisa. And actually, it goes through the first reading, second reading, and probably the third reading in the National Assembly. And we see that there are some parts which were amended. They were deleting some section and inputting and replacing with some new subsection in the finance bill.
Right.
And I think I'll start by the housing levy. The housing levy, it was 3%, but now it is 3%, but 1.5% from the employer and 1.5% for the employee.
Right.
And we see housing levy, when we start with housing levy, us as the Tvet Student Association right now, you see, let me just say, it is better to have something than nothing. I know this is not what we want. I know this is what we don't need it right now, but it is the only thing, because 60 years after independence, right now you see we are being loomed by poverty, corruption, and we need something which can change our country. And the president promised to create 1 million job opportunity for the let me just say youth, but probably the technical skilled youth in the Republic of Kenya.
Right.
So I see 1 million job, it will create peer position for internships and attachment for our comrades. So the housing levy is not affecting the common mwananchi, the person, the common youth, because he or she doesn't have anything right now. Yes. And our houses, we don't have houses right now. That is our parent houses. So probably we'll have our houses maybe in future. And the exemption of LPG from 16% to 8%, that will cut in the price of cooking gas to by half.
Okay.
And I think it will accommodate the needs of the common mwananchi, the Wanjiku, the Okenye of the Republic of Kenya. And also the 8% VAT to 16%, it is a burden, not just a burden. And we see that it has, for example, railway development levy.
Right.
It has been reduced from 2.5 to 1.5 to 1.5, and also the import on those petroleum products. So we see that it will reduce.
When I listen to you, I feel sort of a positive outlook into how this Finance Act or the Finance Bill has now evolved into. You're saying that, on one hand, there are VAT, which is now adjusted upwards. There's that housing levy. It has also been capped. You can't contribute more than 2,500 and per month for the employee, and also the employer, the cap is at 5,000 a month. There's some positive outlook, halving of that LPG, which means cooking gas is going to be a bit more affordable. I think the president has been very keen on trying to tame the rising cost of cooking gas. And then the railway levy reduced. That's positive as well. The import also levy reduced. That's positive as well. Do you think this is a wholesome finance act? Do you think there's something positive we should look forward to?
We also have the negative part of it. And the negative part of it is concerning the digital content creators.
Okay.
you see these digital content creators are the youth of the Republic of Kenya, mostly, majorly, are the youth of the Republic of Kenya. And these youth are unemployed, first for all. They don't have any job opportunity right now. They don't have any support to start a business. They do lack funds. They do lack job opportunities and business opportunities and entrepreneurship in job market in this business world. And I see taxing the digital content creators, I think, even if it is the responsibility of us as citizens to pay taxes, but taxing the common hustler, because that youth is a common hustler, because it doesn't have, or she doesn't have any payslip right now. So I think in that part, it's so sad.
Right. And there's, there is a general feel that, digital content creators don't remit taxes, which they actually do. And sometimes it feels like content creators are not a common mwananchi. There's a mamboga having a TikTok account. That's a content creator. There is someone else in formal employment who has their own YouTube channel later on. That's a content creator who's as well affected, right? And that's true that you cannot heavily tax mwananchi. According to the president, the only way that you can raise this extra 312 billion by KRA is to ensure that we're getting more taxes and getting to prosperity through these taxes. Is it possible? A question that we've been asking quite some time now. Is it possible for us to tax ourselves to prosperity? The president has compared us to nations out there, whose taxes are up. Singapore taxes are high, UK taxes are high, but there's universal health coverage, there's free this, there's free education, there's free that, the government is able to provide you with a few amenities here and there. Is it possible that we headed in that kind of direction?
Actually, I don't see we are heading to that direction, because in Singapore and UK, you don't have corruption cases. Like in our country, Kenya, we don't have corruption loopholes in our country, like here in Kenya. So it's high time the president should focus in fighting corruption right now. Because corruption, you see, and it was so hectic that the previous government, I heard somewhere that they say that we are losing more than 2 billion daily. How? To who? Where? Why are we losing 2 billion to these people? And you see, let me answer you that question. The TikTok likes, the TikTok comment is not money. I can have 16K likes, but that's not money. I can have 16K followers, but that's not money. So I think seeing that maybe a content creator, he or she is a rich person, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Right, yes. That's true. Let me also just read some of those notable taxes in Finance Bill or the Finance Act are effective from 1st July 2023. Again, same day collection. On the standard or the front there, you can see that tax node, and this is going to budge that towards that 3.6 trillion hustlers total budget, and this is for the first year of 2023-2024. 5% withholding tax on digital content monetization, capital gains on transfer of shares, partnership interests, or comparable interests where they are derived more than 20% of their value, 5% withholding tax on sales, promotion, marketing, advertising, services offered by resident persons, 3% turnover tax for businesses whose revenues are from 1 million to 25 million, exemption of LPG from the 8% VAT, 16% VAT on petrol, kerosene, aviation fuel, jet fuel, etc. Import of raw materials and intermediate products by manufacturers, now 2.5% of customs, up from 1.5%. Input for construction under the Affordable House Scheme, 2.5%, up from 1.5%. This 16% on VAT is supposed to raise that 50 billion, right? For patching this extra amount that the government needs. One other thing that the government has done, members of parliament have approved the raising or the scrapping of that cap on the lending, government borrowing. The debt ceiling at 10 trillion, but now it's going to be a calculation of the debt anchored as a percentage of the GDP, which will be at 55%. And currently, Kenya is at 70% of debt to GDP ratio. When it comes to debt, how can we tackle that in your own, view?
I think we need to sacrifice right now as a country, because we can't inherit debts. We need to inherit business ideas. We need to inherit properties. We need to inherit nation wealth, but not debts. So I think it is a good initiative.
Who should sacrifice, Bwana President, if I can ask you that? Who should sacrifice? Should it be the office of the president, the deputy president, and the prime CS, whose, a chunk of this budget is actually going to the executive, right? Yes. It feels like Mwananchi is the one sacrificing a bit more than the leaders.
I remember, I think 2.2 trillion for the executive budget.
Right.
And I think we are paying for the government. And let me ask you this question. Do you think maybe the prime minister, prime secretary, cabinet secretary, is he paying rent?
No, he doesn't. Of course, all provisions by the taxpayers.
Is he Mama Mboga or Mtu wa Boda Boda?
None of them are.
None of them are. So I think 2.2 trillion, it should be cutted off. It should be reduced to maybe 1.2 trillion. The 1 trillion should pay debt in our country right now. Because you say they are using it for fuel to travel. Okay, no problem. Those people, you can't say that they are being loomed by burden of paying school fees,
right?
Maybe college fees, maybe rentals, maybe buying sugar. Actually, I think they don't know the budget of bread right now. Even I don't know if they know fuel. So they are just there. These are the big people.
To them, these are just numbers.
These are just numbers, because the reality is in the ground. Vitu kwa ground is different. People are crying because of unemployment right now. We do have more than 5 million because of this. So I think we should have reduced the debt by reducing the executive budget from 2.2 trillion to 1.2 trillion. The 1 trillion should pay debt. Because now I think they are paying around 700 something billion. So those billion, it will take around 12 to 15 good years. With the current budget, each and every year, 12 to 15 years
for us to repay
the debt.
Okay.
And I don't know if they will still in power. I don't think so.
Any confidence? This is not the first or the last finance bill, as Kimani Wachira keeps saying. The president emeritus of the Tvet student association that you're heading currently, he keeps telling us that this is not the first or the last of the finance bill, but this has to be actually the fastest I've ever seen a president sign a bill into law. Is it a sort of anticipation? I don't know. Maybe we'll get to see in a year's time, because this is supposed to give or to give power into this budget of 2023-2024.
I think the president right now is only a few months in the office.
10 months, I think.
10 months in the office. And the same president will seek re-election in 2027. If he wants anything, give it to him. Give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. At the end of the day, he will be accountable of what he says to the common Mwananchi. And maybe the 2022 election period, we were concerning about the Hustler Nation, the Mama Mboga Mtu wa Chini. And some of us voted the bottom-up economy model. We didn't we voted for the economy model, because we saw that we are still Mama Mboga Mtu wa Chini ainuliwe. So we thought, and it's still our hope that, and maybe we are still on the right track, and I pray that let's be on the
president
right
is saying kwa wale ambao wanamsumbua atawakalia ngumu. Do you think maybe there's an angle that we are not seeing from the president's side, and as you say, maybe hopefully the bottom up economic model might rise up and support common Mwananchi?
Remember, in 2022 general election, the youth of the country didn't participate very well in the election. And I think 2027 we will come forcefully, actively, because we want what we want. We want to claim what belongs to us. Because now we are the future generation of our country. We are the future leaders of this nation. And in 2027, it is the only year that we will have election, as the youth. Probably maybe 2032 I will be a parent. Maybe I will be in another stage. So I must claim the unemployment issue to counter the unemployment issue 2027, to get those funds to do business in our country right now here in Kenya. Like, we are not okay. We may see that we are happy, but we are not okay. Dressfully in a suit, but very sad.
It's funny because last week was also the week that WRC happened, over in Naivasha. And, we had been complaining about the finance bill the whole week. And the government sees us in Naivasha all, happy and having a good time. They're like, these guys have no problem. These guys have money. We should tax them a bit more. And speaking about it, just before the ink dries up on the finance bill 2023, the president has already given a new proposal, NHIF 2.75% of gross income. And also, there is a proposal that even the guys who are not employed should also contribute to this national health insurer. The cost of loans is also going to go up. The new CBK governor just came in, and for the first time in 7 years, he's pushed the lending rate interest up to 10.5% from 9.5%, the first double digit ever. Looks like there's no one who's concerned about
the rich will become richer and the poor will be poorer. Because I don't think if now, us as the poor people, I'll talk as one of the Wanjikus.
Us as the poor people.
Us as the family. So
yes, tell us about you guys.
We don't have right now, we don't have something to claim that is ours. Only our phones.
Okay.
So,
and those are about to get expensive, by the way. There are new taxes on smartphone importation. So maybe
maybe we'll go back to the using smoke as a form of communication.
Right.
So these loans, I think the only rich people will become more richer because they will be the only people to access these loans. Because I as the youth of the Republic of Kenya, I need to come up with an idea, with a business idea, so that I can have these loans. And CBK, I don't know, but raising a 1% profit, for them, it won't help me, but it will help the CBK, not me actually.
Right.
It will, I see, by 1 percentage point.
Getting back more, and also this is going to affect, of course, dampening investments, hiring, less companies. Even speaking about the housing levy, if you are forcing the employer to contribute 1.5%, and this is going to be maybe 3,000 bob or 5,000 shillings of your money, if you need a raise, that's not going to happen. There's going to be a hiring freeze. Companies are now more pressed about remitting taxes to the government and less about getting new employees. Borrowing costs are now going up, which means companies which need to operate through loans offered by these banks not going to get enough capital to run their operation. This is carrying even foreign investors. Over at Tulo Oil in Turkana, we did see that the companies, Total Africa Energies, which was operating there, gave up their shareholding interest because they do not see any returns from any exploit they're doing. Either much more is going into taxes or more into operation costs and less from revenue and profit. What is your outlook on the future of business as we wrap up on this Finance Act?
I think in our country right now, our country Kenya, we do have a lot of resources. Actually, a lot of resources now. And maybe, you see now even saying that we do have the food crisis in our Kenya, the cost of living is up. That is so ironical because we do have lands, we do have the soil, which we may plant and maybe we will harvest. We'll have for food security. And the business future of our country depend on good leadership. And who are these leaders? And right now, these leaders, let me just say we the leaders, because we are part of the leadership in Kenya. We need to sacrifice our self-interest and think about others. Because you see right now, I can have 2 or 3 more cars. Now I'm earning more than $1 million in 1 month with a lot of business. My net worth. I'm so proud in saying in a national television my net worth is 430 something million. That's not serious. Because right now in Kenya there is someone who lacks food. There's someone who has been burdened by the crisis of school fees, a comrade. Now each and every day a student is committing suicide because of depression. A youth is committing suicide. And these people, the youth are the one in drugs right now because of the stress and depression. They are suffering mentally and even physically because of this crisis. And I think we need to focus on those people who don't have. And the housing levy, I will just add this, is like transferring the people who have to the have-nots. Because I have a house, I have a salary, I will contribute to help, and I think they will just state it clearly. They could have just stated clearly that this will help those who don't have. Because I do have a house, I do have a farm, I do have a reserve in Nakuru, I reserve in Wasingishu County, and I do have an apartment in Nairobi. So I think this will help those who don't have. Because slums, we do have slums in our respective cities, Nakuru, Mombasa, here in Nairobi, and I think we need to sacrifice as a country. We need to think on others, because thinking about yourself, you can't, that money can't buy you life. We had big people who are not here. We have the former, the His Excellency with securities, the dictators, those people, the goons, the tycoons. Where are they right now? So we need to think on others. That is what we call humanity. Yes,
right.
That is humanity.
We need to look beyond politics and also take a sneak peek into humanity. Above you being a leader or a politician trying to make name or make a career for themselves, also think a little bit about that other fellow human being, even if sometimes we're counted as a statistic. You're a voter, you're one vote, and that's, I think, has a really huge repercussion on even how our voting trends become. You said in 2027 the president will be back for re-election. Do you think Kenyans will have changed their view at the time, or will just be back again to maybe we punish him with electing Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua as we did previously?
So, you see, Kenyans, we are so forgetful.
Yeah.
And previously, last week, we were in Naivasha. We forgot our problems, our challenges. We forgot the campsites. We forgot the issue with national media,
Moses Kuria, edible cooking oil. Yeah.
And we focused on WRC. And now you'll see, like, even when you read this Daily Nation, you maybe think this is not our gazette as Kenyans. Because we are good in pretending. Like now we pretend we are happy, we are okay right now, but things are not okay.
Yeah.
So I think these people are the same. They will come, mkono, salala. They will appear massively. They will appear massively.
Yeah.
So I think, and I believe the president, and I hope for the president to have this idea that don't forget us. It is our prayer and request. Mr. President, we respect you. You are our president, and you are our head right now.
Isn't it sad though that after electing a government into power, we have to come back and the government should be a servant of the people. Should we be begging the president to do something for us, really?
Actually, when you see in world politics, for example, in other countries like UK, the prime minister will walk down the streets and enter the city. He will not somehow be praised.
Will cycle to work. You'll find
worshipped. Like now in Kenya, you see, we will close even traffic. Roads, the president is passing by. His Excellency the President. You see, that kind, like we are accrediting him with so much power. Yet we the people are the ones who have that power.
Okay.
And chapter 1 of the Constitution states that the sovereignty belongs to us as the people. We are the voters. We elect them.
Right.
Yes. And in Finance Bill, chapter 12 of the Constitution, it says the responsibilities of us is to pay taxes equitable, the 2010 Constitution, and we are the ones who passed it. Right. Yes. So
it's the sovereigns who have to even suffer the debt that is accrued by the country. Yeah.
Yes, we are the one. We put that burden on ourselves. We are the one who voted for this government.
Right.
Remember.
And they're acting on our behalf.
And they are acting on our behalf right now. And I don't know if the opposition, if he was the president, I don't know if it will have changed this way, because the same people opposing the bill are the ones who proposed the bill 2019, and the one who proposes now are the one who opposes. So it is a vice versa. I don't know why it is just a game of politics.
Yeah, it feels like it's new, but it isn't.
This is not new. The Employment Act 207, it's here being amended right now here in this finance bill. So this is not new. Maybe it was just for the literate people who knew about it, but it was there a long time ago.
Right.
Even for the previous government. Yes.
All right. There's an issue of that is it in matters of the Finance Act of 2023. From Saturday, expect new taxes. Will be here on Tuesday to tell you how you've been adjusting, to hear how you've been adjusting, and also to see whether there will be any economic prosperity, because this is the president's means of raising revenue for the republic and taking us to the next level, as he keeps insisting. So maybe by a very little chance, this might be it. Maybe in next year we'll swallow our words and say, apologies to Mr. President, you really had a vision for this republic. That's how we'll close on that part of the Finance Act. But recently, Kenya has opened its borders, and I'm trying to get your view as a president of the Tvet Student Association. And there's been an opening of the borders, Somalia, Kenya. I'll get your view in a short while on how that is, because there's also an issue of insecurity and fears of looming insecurity in the republic, and how the government really is handling such relations or bilateral relations when it comes to refugees and also matters of the security. But Bwana President, before we do that,
Yes.
I have a surprise for you.
Yes.
Take that pen. So there's something here that we play, a very short question session for our viewers, and as well as when we're on set. I have no idea of the questions, by the way. I'm always accused of rigging, but I can tell you I've not looked at the servers. So we get the questions, we have a few seconds to write our answers down, then we exchange and see how our knowledge base looks like, general knowledge, business knowledge, and also maybe a bit of geographical information. So let's go. If you're at home, here are the questions for you today. Let's see what you get. Give us your score down there. The first question, here we go. What is the Swaziland currency? All right. What date and month of the year marks the end of the country's financial year? Okay. Okay. All right. That was the second question. The third question, what is the strongest currency? What is the strongest currency in the world? What? All right. Question 4, who is the founder of the SpaceX project? Which is the largest dam in Eastern Africa? Which is the largest dam in Eastern Africa? Damn. Damn. I don't know. All right. Question number 6. Which African country has the lowest population? Country that's lowest. I don't know, easy maswali. Who is the first Kenyan to win an Oscar award? I hope it's this one. Question number 8. Who was the wealthiest person in history? That's me, no?
Not you.
Or future history will be me, not
Future history.
Oh, okay. Question number 9. Which is the biggest export in South Africa?
South Africa.
What? Biggest export in South Africa. Visas. Number 10, the last one. Which is the tallest building in Kenya? Okay, that's it. Let's go through the exchange and then see. Ile umepata tuone ile umepata. Nini change? Yay.
Umeandika.
Pesa ya Swaziland ni gani? What is this? I'm getting answers from my director, so we get them and then we mark them against each other. So kama uko nyumbani pia you can mark what is the Swaziland currency. Swazililangeni. What is that? What is that language? Sounds kidogo vitu zifloat hapa. Sounds like a spell from from a witch.
Maybe you repeat it again.
Swazililangeli or
Ngeli.
Swazililangeli. That one. So it's displayed there on the screen. So Neo Pesa Swaziland. Question number 2: what date and month of the year marks the end of the country's financial year? I wrote 30th June. Is that true? 30th June. Preza Japata. Sitasema ameandika nini.
After 1 year.
Preza ameandika after 1 year. What is the strongest currency in the world? Has to be the USD. Oh, it's not? What is it? What is the strongest currency in the world?
Yes, the Kuwait.
Kuwait. What? How much is a Kuwaitian Swangileni for a Kenyan shilling?
400 shillings. I believe 400 shillings. And I knew it, but...
All right, question number 4. Who is the founder of SpaceX? Elon Musk. I got it?
You got it.
Yeah. Ujamako so into politics, he wrote NATO. What is the largest dam in East Africa? Question number 5. I wrote Masinga, so I don't know. Sorry?
Not Masinga.
Grand Renaissance. My director tells me it is the largest dam in Eastern Africa. We both didn't get it. Question is there on your screen. Yeah, so that's the largest dam. The Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. Hey, okay. Need to plan a journey to Ethiopia. Question number 6. Which African country has the lowest population? It has to be... It's Seychelles. He got it right. I wrote Eritrea. Oh, it's Seychelles. Okay. Seychelles. She sells seashells at Seychelles. Who is the first Kenyan to win an Oscar? Lupita Nyong'o. Is it Lupita Nyong'o? Yes? Okay. It's Lupita Nyong'o. We got it. I think every Kenyan should get that. Question number 8. Who was the wealthiest person in history? Mansa Musa. Wait. Does Solomon count? He was so rich though. Question number 9. Which is the biggest export in South Africa? I wrote nothing. He wrote tourism. And the answer should be? Platinum. Not diamond? Okay. All right. Question number 10. Which is the tallest building in Kenya? Britam Towers. Okay, Britam Towers is the tallest building in Kenya. Not KICC.
Not UAP.
Not UAP Towers. Sadly. The Prez. Sijui tufungue server ama...
Tufungue server. Hii imeibiwa hii.
What did I get there? The president has 2. And I have 4. Below average for all of us, but that's it. If you're at home also, you can tell us what your score was like. But that is our session today. Thank you very much for having the conversation with us. I had just teased a bit there on handling, insecurity issues and also bilateral relations when it comes to insecurity issues. I find it quite a tricky conversation to have, and a very important one to have. A conversation that is had world over. If you go to the US, there's issue of immigration. If you go to the UK, there's that conversation on, should we allow immigrants, should we not? How does security get handled in a situation like that? Maybe briefly, generally, how do you think Kenya should handle its refugee situation and also as well as security?
The refugees in Kenya, in Kakuma, in Dadaab. And I think it's now time we think as Kenyans. The government should think on a better way, because we do have our challenges. So when refugees still come, it still burden us as a country. And it burden us as a country. And you see now the issue of Africa at large is population. We do have resources, but for the few people who know about that resources. And for example, the rich people have few children. The people who don't have
a lot of children.
So I think those are the people who are being interfered and interrupted and disturbed by these internal and external conflicts. For example, in Southern Sudan, for example, in Somalia, and these are our neighbors, neighbor country, just few miles. So I think opening of this will create business for Miraa people, because the Miraa at large from Meru all the way to Somalia.
Okay, so there's business, but also we need to look at it categorically.
It's just a risk-taking process, a risk-taking path. So we need to do it, because at large our Miraas will expire at our farms. It will rot in our farms. So I think opening those boundaries and borders, it will help, and we think we need to tighten our security as a country, at large.
And all right, thank you very much, Prez. I wish we had more time to get much more of your feedback, but I'm hoping you will create time out of your mandate as president and get to speak more about us, about the developments of the country with us. Maybe just giving you 30 seconds as a wrap up, just to the students of the Tvet student community, and a word from you as president, under 30 seconds.
Okay, so now we are in a country faced with a lot of problems and an employment crisis now, and if we do not take up a step and empower ourselves, no one will empower us. So we need to be the opportunity takers and the risk takers in our society right now. So kudos to everywhere you are hustle there outside, and you as a Tvet graduate will come and take your CVs back to the DP Arambe House, because they promise us job opportunity.
All right. Yes, thank you very much, President, for creating time for us.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're closing really well. Thank you for tuning in to Biashara Tuesday. Time has not been on our side today. Very important conversations we've had. Continue watching KUTV up until next week. My name is Richard Okenye. I will see you around.